All right, so in this video, right, I'm going to show you how to find Amazon products and Amazon niches that are about to explode. Now, I guarantee, or I almost guarantee, you have not seen this on any other channel anywhere else. And I'm going to drop some absolute heat today that's going to completely change the way that you think about doing product research. And I know so many people say shit like that and it's never true, but this has completely changed in the last couple of months. The way that I think about e-commerce, the way that I think about Amazon FBA, it's completely changed the way I think about most things related to what we're doing right now, to be honest. And I wanted to share it, and I'm going to dive in and show you all of the details. It's not going to be a fancy edited video. It's just going to be me with the screen recording and everything. So let's dive into it, right? So the first thing you're going to do is come to a website called explodingtopics.com. Now, I've asked these guys if they can do me an affiliate link. So maybe check the video description and you will see a bit of a bonus code for this because you do have to pay to use it. But this website is incredible. And the reason why it's incredible, right, is because it aggregates a load of data. It gets data from different sources. I'm not 100% sure what all of those sources are, but basically this website allows you to find products and find niches that are trending. Now, when I say trending, I'm not talking about fidget spinners. I'm not talking about stuff that's a flash in a pan. This allows you to identify changes in consumer behavior. And if you can time it right, then you can make a lot of money. And I'm going to show you some examples and I'm going to show you how you can use it, right? So basically you come to the dashboard like this and it's going to pull up a load of different stuff. And as you can see, you've got stuff like magnesium gummies, rice serum, and it gives you this like percentage change. Again, I'm not 100% sure exactly how it works this out, but I know it's a mixture of different data sources. So one of the most interesting parts about it is you can go to this trending products tab. Now, again, not 100% sure how it works. It's kind of like magic to me at this point, but I've spent a lot of time in here and I'm seeing so many opportunities. So I want to show you a couple that I found that I think are super, super interesting. The first one is these Beet Gummies, right? Now, you might have seen these, maybe you've used them, maybe you buy them every single month, whatever. I am very interested now in these types of products because they are consumable products that people buy every single month. If you go back and watch one of my most recent videos where I talk about our plan to grow our Amazon brand to 8 figures, I talk about how we are transitioning away from products that people buy once, and we're moving into selling products that people buy every single month. So products like this, right? Now take a look at this. You can see that the growth over the past 5 years is 4,600%, which is absolutely nuts, right? But that's not the most interesting thing about this. The interesting thing for me about this is if you come to Amazon.com, right? Look at this as a search trend that matches what we just saw on here. So I think this uses at its core Google Trends. It uses Google Trends, but I also think it aggregates a lot of other data, probably including Amazon data as well on some level. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So if you take a look at this for beetroot gummies, right? If you were to launch these, I know this is a few years ago, but if you were to launch these around this time, look at the wave that you would have ridden or rode. I never understand the past tense of that word. Look at the wave that you would have been able to ride from that point all the way up. Look at this. This means that, like, if you got in here and you created a great brand, you could have just enjoyed this cash all the way up here, right? And this is where it gets interesting for me, looking at this type of data, because you could say, like, right, okay, if you get in here, you're kind of getting in at the top. Who knows if it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. But this is an example of a niche that didn't really exist a few years ago. And in the space of, 3 years or so, it's gone from 100 people every month on Amazon.com searching for this one keyword to over 5,000 people. Now, the interesting thing for me is if you look at this on Amazon.com, this is a pretty competitive niche now, right? Because you've got people like this with 60,000 reviews. You've got some people in here, that are relatively new, doing pretty well. These guys are doing 35K. They rank number 1 for, Beet Gummies. Their branding's not that great, whatever. But the interesting thing for me about this is if you come to the UK market and you search Beet Gummies, and if you've got Helium 10, it'll throw up this, which is incredibly useful. I absolutely love this part of Helium 10. By the way, if you want to get a discount code on Helium 10, check the link in the description. We've got 20% off Helium 10. It might even be 30% off for the next 3 months. Go and check it out if you want to get it. But look at this, right? Beetroot gummies in the UK, there's only 100 people searching for this, right? So what I think I'm seeing here is that beetroot gummies in the US is obviously quite a mature market now. But if you are smart, you can find niches in smaller countries like the UK or Spain or Italy or France or Germany, where these niches are yet to take off. Because all that's happened here, and let me show you this, and this is so interesting to me. And I might be a bit of a nerd, but this is fucking interesting to me. Look at this, right? The top seller in the UK is this. Now, these are beetroot tablets. It's the same product. It's beetroot extract, but instead of being in a gummy, this is a tablet. So it doesn't actually, oh, it does show it, right? This is a little tablet, right? All that these gummies are is just this in a different form. It's the same basic ingredient, but it's just in a slightly different form. It's in a gummy form. So if we look for beet capsules and beet powder, so beetroot, obviously, look at beetroot capsules in the UK. There's nearly 5,000 people searching for this. And look at this. It's not as aggressive with the growth until you get to here. I mean, this could be just something to do with Amazon's search bar, which this could be a bit of an artificial spike. But you can still see that there has been, since 2019, the growth is still 5x, right? So it's not the same as in the US, but this is what's interesting. If you search for beetroot capsules, there's not really any gummies. Perhaps there's one there, but there's not really anybody doing that yet, right? They're just these capsules. So this is the first thing that I wanted to show you with this, is finding niches like this that have trended crazy amounts in the US, and then checking the smaller territories to see if these products have made it over there yet. Because this might just be that on TikTok, which is where usually now these things are going crazy. It's usually where, you know, you're seeing these things explode. People see it on social media and then they go and search for it on Amazon, and that's why you get this. That's why you get this huge uptick, right, in searches like this. So for blood pressure, this probably went round social media and went a bit crazy. That one's not as big. But when I showed the one before, beetroot gummies, this is where it starts to trend on social media, and then people go to Amazon and start looking for it. So I want to show you another example of something that I found, right? So I found this, so Rosemary Water, right? So if you look at this in 2021, even 2022, there was still a healthy amount of people searching for it, but it recently, in the past 12 months or so, it's really started to trend. Another great thing that this tool does is it shows you the channel breakdown. So it shows you the activity on each of these social channels for this as a niche, right? So you can see this is hugely popular on Pinterest. For some reason, it's mega popular on Pinterest, right? It'll show you all of these different keywords, which really helps you understand, you know, what people are kind of looking for. So like, they're obviously looking, you know, I don't know whether it's related to dandruff or hair growth or whatever. But here's what I just thought was interesting, because I'm looking at this and I'm seeing products like this. So I search Rosemary Water. I'm going to see kind of what the trend is, right? So what Rosemary Water for hair, rosemary oil, these are, you know, all the different things. So Rosemary Water for hair growth. So it sounds like people are searching this as a way for, you know, to grow back hair, or to, you know, have long, luscious ginger hair like me, maybe. No. But it sounds like people are searching for, you know, for the hair growth, whatever. But if we look at Rosemary Water over time, you can see again, right? Not too long ago, it was not that many people searching for it. So it had a decent upswing, but then look at this. And again, this is probably down to some sort of viral marketing. Now, there's been a huge change in the past couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, when it comes to TikTok and short form viral marketing. And it's what I've realized lately that we weren't paying enough attention to. And the reason I started paying attention is a guy called Robert Oliver, which I'm going to do a video on probably this week. But he really opened my eyes to this, of seeing short form viral content and its influence that it has on Amazon. Because people see these products, like I said, they see these products on TikTok, and then they go and search on Amazon. So if I go to TikTok, and I've not done this, So maybe I'm going to look a bit stupid, and maybe I won't see any I won't see any examples. But if we go and we see what are people doing, you can see already that people are searching for this stuff on TikTok, right? So Rosemary Water, I'm going to see, look at this. So there you go, look, 5 million views, 7 million views, 6 million views. So Rosemary Water is clearly being used as a product to help with hair growth. And I thought it was for men, but it kind of looks like, I mean, it is for men, look, men and women, right? This is crazy. This is crazy because what you're seeing here is these trends emerging because of social media and virality. Now, if this was 10, 15 years ago, social media is now essentially just word of mouth on steroids, because it used to just be about word of mouth, people talking about things. For example, like keto, just went round and it became more popular. But now what we're seeing, because of short form viral content, you get videos like this, where these videos go viral and they literally get millions of views. And what that means is all of those people see these products and they go to Amazon.com and they search for them. Now, are you putting the pieces of the puzzle together? Is it all starting to make sense to you now? Do you get where I'm going with this and why this is so powerful for you as a marketer and as an entrepreneur? Because every single big company that I've seen and listened to lately, they've built those big companies by getting in on trends as these things are starting to emerge, and they reverse engineer it. So they don't just stumble across these things. They look at the data. Jeff Bezos, the reason that he started Amazon.com was because he saw how much the internet was growing back in the day. He saw the data that the internet was growing like 10,000% year on year. And then he decided to start selling books online, and that's how Amazon.com was created. So all of these people, they're kind of getting, I want to show you an example of a brand, this one called Bloom. So Bloom, this is one of the biggest brands on Amazon right now. And look at this, look at the growth, right? So look at the growth, like nobody was searching for this brand, obviously before it existed, but back in the day, and it's gone crazy. So these guys have caught onto this like superfood sort of trend. And this is what looking at this sort of data is going to help you do. It's going to help you spot the way that consumers are changing. It's going to help you spot the changes in consumer behavior. And if you can meet that change with a brand and a product that's really good, then you can make tons of cash. So the example that I wanted to show you with this Rosemary Water, right? If you search Rosemary Water, which again, 6,000 searches a month is no joke. It's like a decent amount of volume, right? So if we search that Rosemary Water, you're going to get this pop up, right? So the top brand in here is this one, right? So I mean, these guys do rice water and brewed rosemary spray. Not that impressive in terms of the hair oils, but you see these guys are doing $50,000 a month, right? And look at the listing. The listing is just not that great. Like, it's quite boring. There's no social proof. And I checked and I thought, well, maybe this is a big brand that tons of people are searching for, but it's not really. And it's not that old, but look at this, right? You can see that these guys have been around since like 2021. They weren't really doing very well, but because they were around back then, once this demand has increased, they benefited from that. So this is what you're going to see, a lot of like older brands that were just not doing very well. And then as the demand for whatever they're selling increases. So what I did is I pulled up the keywords for this product. So you can see here, this is the product, because I wanted to check, like, are they just getting tons of people searching Bloom health goods? Because if that's the case, then that's why they're doing so well, but they're not. Look at this. So they rank number one. They rank number one organically for Rosemary Water. And that's got 6,000 searches a month, like I showed you before. And if you check the trends, you can see the correlation. Well, you can see the exact same data as what I saw on Exploding Topic. I mean, come on, look at this. This is crazy. So these guys are ranking at the top for that. They're not really getting any branded search. So here's where it starts to get interesting. Now, I'll pop up a little thing here because we recently did a TikTok masterclass with a guy called Ryan Rigner. Shout out Ryan. What Ryan is doing with his brand is called Madhu Supplements. I always say it wrong. So listen up, take notes, get that notepad out, because this is gold dust, what I'm showing you here. So what's happening is these companies are taking these products and they are hiring influencers to create viral viral videos for their brands, right? So Mahu supplements. So black seed oil is what Ryan sells. Look at all these. So he's got teams of influencers creating content for his brand, basically making viral style videos, right? So you can see this. So this is another good example of a consumable product. Now, if we look on Google Trends or whatever, black seed oil. If we go back to here, black seed oil, you'll see the same thing, that a lot of these niches didn't really exist a few years ago, and then because of TikTok, because of changes in consumer behavior, these niches and these things start to trend. There you go. Look at that. Is that not the sexiest thing you've ever seen? Look at that. Imagine you're selling, and this, we're not talking about 5 years ago, right? We're talking like, a year and a half ago. We're talking this time last year, pretty much. Not that long ago, there wasn't that much demand. So obviously you don't want to be getting into these niches at the top, right? I mean, you can, of course you can, but what you want to be doing is you want to be using data to identify early trends. And a really good example of this is when I go back to these gummies, right? Because gummies is a recent trend, because if you look at stuff like creatine gummies, so look at creatine gummies. I remember back in the day, I used to take creatine, to try and get jacked. And it wasn't really a thing to take it in gummy form. Nobody was making these gummies. So what happens is one company will make something like this. I mean, look at this. These guys are doing £42,000 in the UK, and they've got 286 reviews. So they're a new product, a new company. And look at the brand. The branding's not that great. I mean, it looks okay. I don't know who she is. But look, this is what I'm saying. So you used to have creatine. Now you've got creatine gummies. And let me show you the increase in search volume. I've not looked at this before. Like I said, I could look like an idiot. But this hasn't been... There you go. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You're getting some hot heat on this video, because this is ridiculous. So look at this, right? At the end of 2022, which is just over a year ago, nobody was searching for this. So what will have happened is, in one niche, somebody will have created the first gummy at some point, and it wasn't for creatine. It will have been for some other supplement. And then what happens is that gets popular, and all of these other products in other niches start to catch up. But it might take 2 years. Maybe it took 2 years before creatine gummies came a thing. And this is what you can catch on. And all this is spotting consumer behavior and how it changes. And then there's a domino effect, right? There's a domino effect. Because like I said, you don't want to be, all right, I'm not saying go and launch creatine gummies now, because we're at the top. Like, this might plateau, or it might drop down, because maybe, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a fad, right? Because it started to peak in 2023. It started to peak almost 12 months ago. If it was a fad and these were a bit shit, it probably would have, dropped off by now. But where this is so interesting is stuff like this, like rosemary conditioner. I'm seeing that trending as well. So what you can do, and I will be fully transparent, I've not worked out the best way to do this yet, but because what we don't want to find these things that are actually trending, like at the top, right? We want to find these things that are about to start trending. So we want to find stuff where there's maybe 100% year-on-year growth. Maybe we don't want to find stuff that's got, 2,300% growth, like 8,000% growth, because the chances are we're going to come into this at the top. But we want to see, so where this would start getting interesting is here. So when we see it go from around this mark here, and we see this jump up, and then we see another jump up, that's a sign that you've got a trend. So imagine you spot this here, and you launch a product and a brand into a niche like this before it gets ridiculously hot. And this is another one that I looked at, permanent jewelry. Look at this, right? So this is really starting to trend not that long ago, right? And let's have a look on Amazon. Permanent jewelry. I always have trouble spelling permanent jewelry. Permanent. You know when you have those words that and jewelry, actually. That's like my worst word to try and spell, right? So permanent jewelry, right? I didn't even know what this was until the other day when I came across it. Permanent jewelry. Let's have a look at the keyword data again. Unless helium-10 crashes. So permanent jewelry, look, you can see all of these keywords, right? Permanent jewelry starter kit. And this is what was very interesting for me, right? Is, look at this. So, I mean, look, this wasn't even a thing. This was not even a thing until we're in 2024, until May. So it wasn't even a thing. Look at that, 0 search volume in May 2020. And then look at it now, 7,000 people searching for that. So look, you go on this, and what you will see is like, there's not really anybody ranking for this that's actually selling that product. This was the big thing that I found the other day, right? So this is a jewelry making kit, but look at the keywords. Do you see permanent anywhere there? Do you see the word permanent? Because I don't. I know I can't spell it very well, but look at this, soldering. There's nobody is actually selling a jewelry kit specifically for permanent jewelry. People are just buying this stuff that's similar to it, and they're making do. 189k. What's this one doing? 55k. And the listings are not that great. So if you create a brand, look at this. Do you see the word, like, look at how shit this looks. This looks fucking terrible. Pardon my French. But look at it. Look, where is the word permanent? So look, this was a niche that I found that I think is actually quite new. And I think again, this has been trending on TikTok, trending on social media. And nobody has really done it yet, because also, I mean, it just happens so much. And it's why I was so excited to share this, because this is something that it unlocks so much for me in terms of what you can do. Now, I'm gonna probably wrap this up, because those were my examples, but I hope that's been useful to you. And I could probably sit here all day and just go through all this stuff, because every single time I come on here, I'm seeing about another 20 ideas for products that I could do. Because you can go through it, and the beautiful thing is there's so many. Like mushroom coffee, right? That's something you don't want to get into this now, because we're at the top. It's just trending up and up and up, and it's gone absolutely nuts. But look, it wasn't that long ago when it wasn't even a thing. And this is the big realization for me of what I've started to see is this is what smart people are doing. They're finding these things at the bottom. They're finding things like, look, if you were just looking at this in 2020, you would be like, all right, this is just whatever. And then all of a sudden you think, something going on here, something happening, and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm gonna launch a kojic acid face wash, and then you go boom. And if you get in here with a great brand, a great product, you learn how to do viral marketing, you're gonna make a hell of a lot of money. And honestly, this is giving me so many ideas for new brands. I don't know how much this one is doing in particular, but look, the revenue, it's not that good. And these products, you might be thinking, where the hell am I going to find these products? You don't get that shit on Alibaba, but that's what you want. You don't want the things that people are buying on Alibaba, because you want to find this sort of stuff, which is so unbelievably like valuable to sell. Because if somebody buys this and they enjoy your brand, they're going to buy it every single month. Now, this is where you would have to go to places like ThomasNet. If you want to source in the US, go to ThomasNet, find these small manufacturers in the US. Maybe this gets imported from India, stuff like Himalayan rock salt, all of that shit. This is where you, as a Westerner, which probably most of you are watching this, where your advantage is against the Chinese sellers, because they ain't doing this sort of shit. And if they are importing it from China and whacking a logo on it, you're going to have an edge if it's US based or it's imported from India, or, you've got that extra level of quality. So, what I mean? So exciting, man. I could go on. I could do another 20 minutes just looking at products, but I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this, and I'll do more content on it, because it's fucking interesting. It's getting me so hyped. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see some of our students using this and using this as a method. So yeah, check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. Peace.